there everybody, this is Christopher Brower here with Daily Motor, and today we have the 2021 Chevy Corvette Z51. We had this on the track at Gingerman earlier this week, but I still wanted to take a little drive on the road just to see how the Z51 package is on the street, because that is of course the place most people are going to be using their Corvettes. This car is finished in red mist metallic, absolutely stunning color, especially in the sunlight. It is gorgeous. With the Z51 package, we are getting this rear spoiler, a slightly different exhaust, slightly better brakes, slightly better cooling system, all a bunch of little touches that make this thing just slightly faster, slightly better on track, slightly better sounding. Inside the Corvette, we have a suede wrapped steering wheel, which I like to call Alcantara, but suede Alcantara, same difference. GT2 bucket seats, which are heated and cooled. Red seat belts, which is a cool touch. I don't know, I think the spec on this car may be just right. I think that this combines kind of, subtleness, but with some really nice touches. God, I love this. I love the Alcantara steering wheel. All right, we're just gonna go ahead and drive it in track mode today. You can see that the cluster will change when I move this dial here. Sport mode, you can hear the exhaust get slightly louder. Track mode, yeah, that's what we want. You can drive it in automatic mode, or you can drive it in manual, use the paddle shifters. This car, of course, has a DCT, so sometimes it's fun to use the paddles. We do have an extra 5 horsepower with the Z51 pack. To be honest with you, I can't really tell, but not really sure who would be able to. Puts this car up to 495 horsepower. So pretty impressive numbers for a car that is not even a Z06. I'm sure by now you've all seen videos of that Z06, though. It looks like it is going to have a flat plane crank V8, so that is going to be one to look forward to. But in the meantime, we have the Z51. As you can see here, the vehicle is auto raising. The front end lift, that's about a $2,000 option. It's probably worth having. There's a gentleman here, hello sir, likes the car. He's probably wondering what I have on my head. So with the front end lift, you can set locations via GPS where you want the front end of the car to lift up. I think that is excellent. That way you don't have to hit the button every time. If you have a commute to work, there's a speed bump, you can set the car to lift for you. Lots of maintenance going on today, it looks like. And of course the vehicle will lower back down as well. You'll see it do that. Yep, there it goes. We are now lowering down. It knows that I'm out of the danger zone here. This is kind of funny to say, but a lot of the sounds this car makes remind me of the Lexus LC500. Just the way that the engine sounds, the way that the transmission shifts, the pops on the upshift. I would say the Lexus probably sounds better on rev matching downshifts, but this is like 80% of the way there to savagery of the LC500, which is great because the LC500 is one of my favorite cars, so that puts this one up there as well. So is it worth the extra $6,000 to opt for the Z51? That really depends. If you're going to be daily driving this car and never taking it to the track, I don't see the real point, because you could of course just source your own set of wheels and tires, your own set of exhaust if you wanted that, and there's really not too much of an advantage on the street. We've driven the base car here at Daily Motor, and that car drove great, very, very similarly to this. We did not take that car on the track, so I can't say if it felt the same on track. That V8 really sings when you get up above 5,000 RPM. Otherwise, it's pretty quiet. Ooh, is this Google? No, it's a self-driving Lexus. There's nobody in that car. That's terrifying. We are in the sportiest suspension setting right now, and it really doesn't beat you up. This road is horrendous right now, and it's not bothering me at all. It's still nice and smooth, still good for the boomer clientele that are going to buy Corvettes, though I'm sure they'll never take it out of tour mode. This car rides great no matter what kind of suspension setting you're in. But if you need to dodge potholes like that, no problem at all. Steering is nice and quick and direct. This thing is brutally fast. This is getting into supercar territories of fast. Which is interesting to think because this is a very obtainable car. This thing starts around 60 grand as spec. This one's about 85. I mean, yeah, it's just, it's really crazy to think that pretty much anybody, you know, that's coming from a C7 is going to be able to obtain this C8. It is quite the upgrade, let me tell you. This is an entirely different animal. This 8-speed DCT is just unreal. You get some really cool bangs and pops on the downshifts. On the upshifts, it snaps really hard as well. You can hear that well when you take the roof off. You can, of course, do that. In the C8 still, the roof comes off, it latches in 3 spots, and then it stows away easily in the back. Very cool feature that has been on Corvettes for quite a while now. Nice to see that they've kept that for the C8. Try a little launch control here. Launch control is pretty simple, just got to make sure you're in track mode. Double tap the ESC off, although that is wet ESC. Let's see if it does it. Oh, it's gonna do it. Got to be really fast with those paddles. Second gear comes up really fast. This thing is just brutal. So as I mentioned earlier, we did have this out at Gingerman Raceway, so I'm going to pass this over to Charlie now to give you some track impressions.
Pointed us to let us know what side to pass them on. Like a safety thing. Tires are getting greasy.
This Corvette is truly a really great car. It gives you the best of both worlds to where it can be an absolute maniac if you want it to, but also it can be quiet, it can be subtle. We can stick it into tour mode, back into automatic, and this thing really just drives like a normal car. It's super dailyable, it's very forgiving. Even these GT2 bucket seats are great, they're comfortable, they're heated, they're cooled. This thing is just, it's excellent, and I think that Chevy has really nailed their target market for the middle-aged buyer that wants to be comfortable but can also take this thing to the track if they really want to. It's just a very, very solid all-rounder, and for that reason, it is certainly one of the best cars I've ever driven, and I'm super excited to drive that Z06 when it comes out. I think that is just going to be peak performance for General Motors. Very excited for that. All right, and this is going to conclude our street drive of the Corvette Z51. Hope you enjoyed. I know I did. I love driving this thing. It's a really good time. All right, everyone, this has been Christopher Brower with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.